This came from Shams yesterday, and I found this very interesting. So Shams tweeted out some potential updates around the NBA draft. So he said, as part of meeting today with general managers, the NBA discussed possibility of extending draft format to 2 days beginning as soon as 2024, sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. I hate this 100%. I do not need 2 days of the NBA draft. And that is not shade at the draft in general. It's just like, it's an achievement to be selected in the second round of the NBA. I'm not discrediting that. But who is watching the second round only for an entire day of coverage? Outside of Flex. Who is doing that?
Who's asking for it? Sam Presti's got to be the guy asking for this. He has too many picks to prepare for.
Can I give y'all what's really happening here?
For real.
No, for real. I'm going to tell y'all what's really happening, and I love it.
Hey, why are you raising your voice,
Sorry.
man?
Because I raised my voice.
Go ahead, man.
Sorry.
You got an open floor, man.
I love this idea. And I love this idea. I'm going to tell you why. I think that they're going to break it down into 2 segments. I think the lottery is going to be first, and then day 2 will be the remainder of the first round plus the second round.
I hate that even more.
Well, hold on. Let me explain. So I think the reasoning behind this, Lindsay, is first of all, you add intrigue to day 2 because when a guy slips out of the lottery, now they got 24 hours to work on deals, make phone calls, get spicy, do things. You can't do that when you're on the clock and it's rocking and rolling on the NBA draft. So I think it adds intrigue to day 2. I think it adds intrigue for people to move up and talk trades. But y'all are missing the major point. Who's going to watch the second round of this year's draft? What are y'all missing? Like, am I the only one that got this figured out?
Please tell us.
Yeah, please enlighten us.
The second round of this year's draft is going to be highlighted by one Bronny James, the son of the LeBron James, who everybody's going to want to see what second round team drafts Bronny James because he is not going first round.
Okay.
Don't say that.
There's one team that's drafted him. They're LA Lakers. Nobody cares. There's no intrigue.
And people are going to watch for that because if it's not the Lakers, you're automatically in the LeBron sweepstakes.
Are people actually going to watch, or do they just want to know?
No, I think they're going to watch.
That's the question I have. And then also, okay, you bring up a good point with Bronny. I'll give you that. But I have a problem with the way, like, you do lottery and then everything else on the second day, because now you're either just like the experience for those guys who worked their butts off for however long it took for them to reach that level is minimized to an extent, because now you have guys showing up to 2 separate days of the draft and it just doesn't feel as special on that singular draft night where you're all there with your family, you're dressed up like it's a whole thing. I feel like you lose some of that for these guys. And that's a big, big time deal for a lot of them.
This is a horrible, horrible idea. Okay, you're going to do it once for one guy in Bronny James, who might not even get drafted because of his heart condition. That's going to cause a lot of fear in a lot of teams. And I know people will say, hey, you know what, we'll take a flyer. We'll take a flyer on Bronny because it might mean LeBron's coming to our organization at the age of fucking 89. Cool. But, like, what about after that? You're not having Bronny come out every single year. Like, so what are you doing?
Awesome if they just kept redrafting. You know, like,
I don't understand it. It's 60 picks. It's not like it takes forever.
Yeah.
It only takes 4 or 5 hours to get the whole draft done. Why do I need to separate that into 2 days? Day 2 is not going to be anywhere near as highly viewed as day 1. It's just not.
If you add the end of the first round, I think it will be. Let me ask you something. Well, how many people you think actually watch the whole NBA draft? They watch the first lottery and they tune out. They switch the channel and they find out who they picked it. Right?
That's my point.
No,
that's my point.
No. This is my point. If you're a business, if you're the NBA, and you can get 2 nights out of this instead of 1 night where people tune out after 30 minutes.
Again, but the numbers are going to be so drastically different that you're not going to be able to sell it for the same price.
They have metrics that show, like, viewership from hour to hour that shows, like, the decline. If I'm a sponsor, unless you're telling me I have to because of X, Y, and Z, I'm not paying for this fragmented coverage.
I don't know, man. I think y'all missing this. I like it. 2 days NBA draft. I think
you don't get more
draft.
It's the same shit.
You don't get more draft, but you get more potential for movement in the draft because you're giving teams an entire damn day after the kid slips out of the lottery. Do you watch the NFL draft?
Yes.
Okay, after the first round, there's always that guy that's supposed to be a first round pick, that's a second round pick. The entire next day of coverage is which 31 or 32 teams are going to trade up to get Dalvin Cook with the first pick.
Yeah, but there's a difference because second rounders in the NFL can have a huge impact. Rarely do second rounders in the NBA have that.
I
You
would
have the
MVP of the
Jokic's-
league.
Yeah, and
It
that
took
is
them 5 years to get to
Manu
that point.
Ginobili, Hall of
Okay,
Famer.
you're
Draymond
naming
Green,
the
Hall of
exception.
Famer. I could go.
They're
Gilbert,
not for instant
they
impact.
all were instant.
No, they were not.
Yes, they were.
It took
Yes,
them
they were.
several years to get their feet under
Several
them.
years,
And they were
dog.
sleepers.
Draymond Green,
Manu
it took him 2 or
Ginobili
3
came
years to
out
finally
the
get up there.
door and was out the door
But
good.
You're
You're
naming
talking about the
exceptions.
exceptions. 99% of the other guys are not that dude.
That's why y'all can't be GMs in the NBA.
99%
Because
of
if
it-
y'all giving
No.
up on the NBA
No.
draft in the second round, shame on y'all.
Bro, no, I can fucking do my goddamn homework and I don't need 2 days
Okay.
to do it.
Do you
I know
like-
exactly who I want to take and I can take them right away without having to have a whole goddamn day
No, I
to
don't-
prepare for it just to make a goddamn trade.
That's
Fuck
not
that.
true.
No, you
That's
goddamn
not
job.
true. That's
Time
not
out.
true.
Shit.
I love this.
Shit.
Let's go.
Tell me, I'm not fucking prepared. I'm fucking out GM anybody.
But
God
look,
damn it.
And y'all love Tumani Camara, who was in the game last night for the Blazers.
Yes, but look, I'm not saying GMs don't care about the second round.
Yeah.
I'm saying the average fan, knowing that 75% of these guys are likely Europe bound or G League bound, are not going to tune in just to watch those guys they don't really know
Yes.
get drafted. Now, I have one caveat that I would watch this.
Okay.
You bring up, okay, say it's the lottery, and then the remainder of the first round, the second round on day 2, and you bring up the guys that may be there that don't get drafted. Well, I propose that they have to stay in the green room that entire time, and it becomes a 24-hour reality show
What is this?
on NBA
What
TV,
is it gonna
and
be-
then I'm interested.
What's it going to be sponsored by Mr. Beast?
It's like
Okay,
Sur-
hold
it's
on,
like
hold on, hold on.
Survivor.
But
So
here's
is the
that-
argument that it's a good idea or is it about ratings?
Well, it's
Both.
What
always
are we
about
talking about?
ratings.
both. It's
It-
both.
I mean, if y'all asking me if from a GM and scout perspective,
You can pull the mic away from your mouth, man. You're too loud.
You're scaring people.
if you're telling me that from a GM and scout perspective, that you wouldn't like an extra 24 hours to sit behind the scenes and talk to teams and talk to players and potentially do something because a guy that's supposed to be top 10 slips. I mean, I don't know how that's a bad thing for basketball. What do y'all what's going on?
Poor Ren. Ren in the chat said, my kid just woke up because of
Well,
you
did you see
two.
the- did you see
Apologize
Dagoon?
right now.
The Goot says, thanks, you guys woke up the wife. Now I have to talk to her.
Apologize right now.
Yo,
you
my
two.
bad, yo.
Sorry, we woke
My
up the
bad.
kid.
Like, listen, I don't think it gives. Yeah, sure. As a GM, you get an extra day to try and wheel and deal. I get that. But at the same time, like, this is a business decision by the NBA. I don't think this is a good business decision because I don't think that the second day of the NBA draft is going to be as electric or as viewed as the first day. I feel like that's just facts.
You know what they need to fix in the draft? I don't need 2 days. There's one thing I need Commissioner Silver and the,
The
NBA to
hats.
fix. The hats.
The hats.
Stop
That's
making
it.
guys walk up there
Yep.
wearing a hat of a team that did not pick them because we know they've been traded.
Yes.
You fix that and you tell me, okay, we'll fix that, but you got to watch 2 days. Fine, we got a deal at
There.
that point.
We'll make you a trade.
because we've rid ourselves of the stupidest thing about the draft.
100%. So listen, we're not all on the same page on this one. I don't think the chat is either, but we will find out this upcoming summer what the NBA has decided, but it is a potential that we will have 2 days
I
of
just don't
drafts.
understand the reasoning behind it. Like they
It's-
didn't give
It could be a mixed bag of things. It could be the fact that the GMs and the organizations do want additional time. It could also be a ratings thing for the NBA in and of themselves. It could be a mix of things.
feel
And they
like-
all just maybe think it's a good idea to at least test it out.
I feel like they looked at all the other leagues, the NHL, the NFL, and Major League Baseball, and they're like, well, they have multiple days. Why don't we?
Maybe.
I'm like, okay, cool. But they also have way bigger rosters. Like they have 30
and
40,
more spots
50,
available
60
for said
yeah,
rosters.
like
And
we have
and a strong minor league system.
you have
in
12
two
to
of those
14
sports.
spots on the NBA roster. You
And
don't
maybe-
need all that time.
Maybe that is one of the reasons. Maybe they, all 30 teams will have a G League here in the next year or two, and maybe they're trying to build that up. I know haven't they already started you don't have to go to college anymore if you could take the G League route?
Yeah.
So maybe the NBA is really focused on building that up, and this is one of those steps in that direction.
This will make sense. We'll concede this. This will make sense if they add another round because of that.
And maybe that's something that we'll see down the road.
They're trying to add more bodies to the G League.
Now I got to watch 3 nights.
But here's the thing. Kyle,
If y'all won't watch the
Here's the
60, you going to watch 90?
Kyle T sent us a super
Does it matter
chat
at that point?
and said, next topic, please. Laughing face emoji. I got you, Kyle. We're going to move right on along past this one.
Welcome to the sad read.
Because we got a bunch of shenanigans in that one, and we got more things to talk about.